Today's video is all about creating charisma. You know that person that when they walk into a room, everybody's head turns. Everybody looks at them and everybody wants to know, like, how do I get more of what that person's got? Like, why I want to talk to that person. That person seems so interesting, so confident. And even more importantly, after that person has had a conversation with you, you leave the party or leave the event or leave the experience just thinking, I want to be that person's friend. I want to be around that person more. And you remember that person over pretty much everybody else. What is this special secret superpower that some people have and some people don't? Well, I guess you would call it charisma, maybe confidence, but I think charisma is really that word, that je ne sais quoi, that when somebody walks into a room and they have a conversation with you, you are just smitten and you feel special and you feel seen and you feel heard and you want to do business with that person. You want to be friends with that person. Charismatic people get pretty far in life as a result of their charisma. Now, here's the thing. I truly believe that anybody can learn this trait. I don't think it's something that you're either born with or you're not. Yes, some people are born with that special talent or attractiveness, and maybe they were raised around very charismatic people, so it's just in their bones. But for the most part, I have seen people be able to create charisma and build it over time. And from observing a lot of people out there in the wild, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of content creators, a lot of really successful people, and a lot of very charismatic people, I've noticed there are several traits that they all have and certain things that they all do that we can all start to do ourselves to make us more charismatic people. So let's dive in. Number one, this might sound like common sense, but believe me, if you start doing this, you will separate yourself from the majority of the people on this planet. And it is so simple just to be present. Or sometimes I just say, be where your feet are, be in the moment. And you might be like, Jen, are you talking about like meditating and being in the moment, being present? Yes, I've tried that. No, I'm talking about something as simple as putting your phone down and looking the person in the eye that you're talking to. I go to many events and dinners and things, and it actually doesn't surprise me anymore. I really like to pay attention to what people are actually doing when they walk into a room and meet people, and the majority of people have their phones in their hands, and when they take a break, like, there's a moment of awkwardness in the conversation, they look at their phone, or they're half in their phone and they're half in the conversation, or they're half in the conversation and half meerkatting, so looking over that person's shoulders, trying to see if there's anybody else more important behind them to talk to. If you are not present in the conversation, you will come off as less charismatic, less likable, and less confident. Because if you think of confident people are people that are totally cool and okay with awkwardness. They're totally cool and okay with where they are in the moment, and they don't need anything else than what's going on right now, right here with us in this very moment in time. And we're going to get to another step or another key when it comes to creating charisma later on, and that's really about making other people feel seen. If you're not present in the conversation and you're not looking the other person in the eye, paying attention to what they're saying, giving them the mirror effect of the nods and the energy that they're looking for, they're going to think that you have absolutely no desire to be in that conversation, and therefore subconsciously they're just not going to like you because everyone wants to feel seen and heard, and they want to feel like they're being paid attention to. So the key to charisma is not necessarily anything that you do, but it's really how you make other people feel. So simply being present in the moment, putting your phone down, being where your feet are, being in the moment, looking at somebody in the eye and truly listening to them and being present in that moment rather than thinking about what's about to happen or what happened before you walked in the room will up level your charisma skills or your charisma vibe or whatever you want to call it. So one quote that I really love is from the comedian Steve Martin, and he says, be so good they can't ignore you. And the cool thing about living in this world that we live in 2025 with all of the social media and all the distractions and all the notifications is you don't need to be that fantastic for people to like you. You just need to pay attention because most people are not paying attention. If you can just put that phone down for a little longer than anybody else or be present and be in the moment for more than a few minutes, that's better than a lot of people. So be so good in that conversation, so attentive, so attuned, so present that that person walks away thinking, wow, I've never felt so seen. Number two, use people's names. Dale Carnegie, in his famous book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, says that a person's name is to that person the sweetest sound in any language. It is no surprise that pretty much everyone's favorite word is their name. And I'm definitely guilty of, not even guilty, it's like freaking awesome. When I'm in a conversation with somebody and they use my name a lot, I just feel like they see me. They recognize me. They know me. They're there to talk to me. Again, going back to number one, be present. They're present with me because they remember my name and they know exactly who they're talking to in that moment. People love hearing the sound of their own name. In fact, one of my friends, Ann Milam, who was the founder of Solid 4, which actually is a big Pilates company that ended up selling for $90 million, she built the whole premise of this Pilates company on every single Pilates teacher needed to make sure they knew everybody's name in the room and repeated their name many times over. It was one of their core values was to make people feel special by using their name. So if you're having a conversation with somebody, remember their name and use it a couple of times. Don't go overboard and say it a zillion times, but say it here and there. Thank you so much for sharing that, Chris. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Hey, Chris, the thing that you said about XYZ was so cool. Yeah. Okay. Like, Chris, that was awesome. Thanks so much. Great meeting you, Chris. And maybe that was too much in one sentence, but you get what I'm saying. Say the person's name to make them feel seen and heard. And I promise you, they will walk away feeling, wow, that was a really great conversation. And they're going to remember you. Again, be so good they can't ignore you. One more great quote for you. One little zinger. The extra mile is never crowded. Many people are lazy in conversations now because everyone's used to just using their phone for conversations. They use an emoji to share all of their feelings. One little emoji that they type instead of having to explain anything. So if you can go the extra mile, which is actually have conversations with people, use their first names, remember their first names, repeat back to them what you're hearing them say to you, ask them questions, they're going to feel unbelievably special in that conversation, and you are going to come off as a very charismatic, confident, memorable human being. Number three, listen more than you talk. This is a big one. We all know this scene in a movie. There's been many movies with these scenes, many TV shows with these scenes, and as soon as I say it, you're going to recognize it and you're going to remember it. And you'll be like, oh yeah, duh. You know when they have like a bunch of people at a like in a boardroom at a table and they're all in a meeting and everybody's screaming and yelling and there's one character that hasn't said anything the entire time and 10 minutes in finally they speak up and they say something, and once they say something everybody turns their head and looks at that person and pays attention to that person, and the thing that they say is listened to and very profound. Well, that's the key when it comes to listening more than you talk, because if you are just spewing things out of your mouth all the time and just saying things without really having any kind of objective behind those things, and you're speaking because of a lack of confidence and you're trying to gain some kind of power from using your words, that comes from a place of insecurity and it comes from a place of not knowing, and it comes from a place of, I guess you could say, the opposite of confidence, which a lot of it is fear. Like, please listen to me and hear me, and I need you to see me in order for me to feel good about myself. And that just oozes pick me energy. It oozes, I need you to look at me, hear me, and see me for me to feel good about myself energy. But the person that can just be quiet and they don't have to say anything for a while because they're observing and they're getting all the information that they need so that they know when they do open their mouth, the thing that they're going to say is going to have even more power behind it. People are going to pay attention even more. You all know that person in the room that doesn't stop talking and doesn't shut up. And by like 15 minutes in, everybody's looking at each other like, oh my God, this person will not stop talking. And then the person that hasn't said anything in the conversation, when they speak up, everybody turns around and listens because they just automatically, the less you say, the more powerful the things that you say become. So I'm not saying that, you should sit around in every conversation and not say anything. Of course, if you have something to say it, but don't talk just to talk because you need people to listen to you. One of the keys to confidence is knowing that you can withstand discomfort. You can withstand the awkwardness of not saying anything. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody because you have that trust within you that when you do say something, it will have meaning, and it's okay if nothing is said. You can sit in the silence. You can sit in the discomfort. And I think that the most charismatic people that I'm around have that quiet confidence. Number four, this is a really good one. And it's very simple and it's very easy to do. And I like to do this every time I end a conversation. End your conversation with a compliment. So simple, simple and can make somebody's entire day. And one of the most important things, or the most important parts of any conversation, is the way that you end it, because that's the thing that people remember the most. So I was just at dinner with somebody who was very generous to sit with me at a dinner and explain some things to me about the speaking industry that I didn't know. And he was very lovely and poured into me. And I wanted to make sure that I gave that energy back to him. And so at the end of our conversation, I took a moment to say, hey, I really want to compliment you. You are absolutely amazing at XYZ and XYZ. And I'm just so grateful that I got to spend time with you because you are really so good at this, this, and this. Did you know that you had that superpower? Saying something like that is going to make somebody leave the conversation thinking that you are the greatest conversationalist of all time. That was their favorite conversation of all time because you made them feel good. Again, going back to the whole theme of this video, the key to being charismatic is not about you showcasing how great you are and how amazing you are and how much you have to say, but the key is really allowing the other person in the conversation to feel seen and heard and special. And when they walk away from that conversation, you will be memorable because they'll think, wow, that person made me feel so good. Maya Angelou has a really great quote. People will forget what you said, they will forget what you did, but they will never forget the way you made them feel. It is so unbelievably true. And I feel that the most charismatic people are fantastic at making people feel seen and heard. Charisma isn't about being the loudest. It's about being the most connected. It's about being the most present. And it's about being the most interested in the person that you're talking to. It's also about having that inner knowing and that trust in yourself that you don't need praise from other people in order to feel good. You don't need attention from other people in order to feel good. You don't need everybody looking at you in order to feel good. You can be totally and comfortable and confident in a room with complete silence and not have to say a word and know that you've got it. That is the key to everybody thinking, I don't know what that person's eating, but I would like to have some of that. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you liked it, please make sure that you subscribe. In fact, you know what? Subscribe, like, do all the things. But I would love to see your comments below. If you love this video, tell me what your biggest takeaway was and if you're going to take action on any of these steps to become more charismatic moving forward. See you next time.